Hold up. Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step. I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bet.
Welcome back, y'all. This is the Miscellaneous Minds Podcast. I'm your host, Jesus Dinero, here with my co-host,
Puma El Gato.
What do we got going on tonight, my man?
Caleb Plant and Jermall Charlo are both fighting on the same card. Let's talk about it.
So listen, both of these guys have their respective fights. One against Armando Resendiz and against Thomas Lamana. I'll be honest with you, this is going to sound bad, I'm not too interested in those fights. I'm interested in both Charlo and Caleb Plant winning because they've been going back and forth for many years. They've had beef ongoing for a very, very long time. So hopefully if they both get through their fights and they don't pull a Ryan Garcia, we'll be able to see them sometime later on this year, which would be great, especially if we could get something with them. You guys already know Bud Crawford and Canelo are fighting at the end of the year. Maybe we can even get them on that card. That would be a very, very stacked card, and that would be great business for Turki Al Sheikh. So, again, we're here to talk about these two dudes, even though they are fighting. Yes, I think that they should both theoretically get through their opponents very easily. One note is, of course, Jermall Charlo has been kind of lacking. He's not been having that many fights. If you guys remember, Jermall was originally supposed to fight Canelo, but I guess he couldn't make weight. There was a number of mental health issues he was going through that he does admit to. It ended up being his little brother, Jermell, that stepped up to the plate and ended up getting that Canelo payday. But regardless, we do have Jermall now gonna go up against this Mr. Lamal, and we have Caleb Plant fighting his fight. But again, I know a lot of you guys know this as well. They've been beefing it for a long time, Caleb Plant and Jermall. So this is a great way to set that up. Great way to build the rivalry. And listen, if we get a fight between Caleb Plant and Jermall, it's going to be a great fight. If I'm being honest with you, I think Jermall is very talented. I think he definitely has all the tools to win. The only reason I'm going to pick Caleb Plant if that fight does come to fruition is only because of the inactiveness of Jermall. Jermall has been quite inactive in the last few years for a number of reasons. Both him and Jermall have had ongoing controversies outside of the ring. Domestic violence and whatnot, being arrested, so on and so forth. So because of those things, I have to give the benefit of the doubt to Caleb Plant. Again, Jermall has all the tools. Great fighter, very well skilled. But because of how inactive he has been, it's been a long time. Last time he fought, my bro here told me, was in 2023. And then before that, it was like a year and a half, 2 years before that he fought previously. So if this was, a few years back, I would probably have picked Jermall just because I do think Jermall at that moment in time had better work than Caleb Plant. But Caleb Plant's been facing, good competition after good competition. The Canelos, the David Benavidez's, and so on and so forth. Even McCumbee was a tough customer for Caleb Plant. So I'm going to pick Caleb Plant at this particular point. Again, we don't even have them set for a fight yet, but I think it is exciting that these two dudes could potentially be fighting after so many years of beefing and going back and forth. I think both of these dudes potentially getting that work sometime later this year will be phenomenal for both of them. It'd be a good name for either one of them. Doesn't matter who would win. Caleb Plant would be a respectable name on Jermall Charlo, and Jermall Charlo would be a good name on Caleb Plant. So I'm looking forward to hopefully these two getting in the ring and getting that work. But what do you think about that, my man?
I do think, at the very least, for Jermall Charlo, this is going to be a hell of a tough hill to climb, especially considering that, like you said earlier, between the two, Caleb Plant's been the more active the fighter. And even if you look at the last 5 fights that Caleb Plant has had, at the very least, he's been a pretty active fighter, at the very least going up against tough competition. Again, there was basically, it's been touch and go with Caleb Plant. But again, if you look at his competition, he's gone up against Canelo, which was a loss. I forgot the fight that he had after that. That was a win. And then he fought up against Dave Benavidez, which was a loss. And then he got one more after McCumbee, which was a win. So it's been of touch and go for Caleb Plant. But the fact of the matter is, no matter what, he's still facing tough competition. And if you look at Jermall Charlo, he has fought Jose Benavidez, which, to be fair, at least it's a decent name on the record. But I remember that fight not being too impressive on Jermall Charlo's end. And even before that, the fight that he had 2 years prior to that one, it was against somebody that didn't really have any much more of a reputable record on hand. So at the very least, he's been inactive for the better part of at least 4 years. And again, only one of the two opponents that he's fought is at least somebody of note. So That being said, Caleb Plant's been looking more of like the active fighter. Again, both of these fights against Jose Armando Resendiz and Thomas Lamont, for both these men, it seems like more of an exhibition. It seems like for at the very least Jermall Charlo, it seems to be a little bit more of a necessary warm up. Thomas, a bit of more of a tune up fight. Thomas Lamont at least has a little bit more experience, but he isn't really that much of a reputable fighter. And Jose Armando Resendiz is at the very least a bit of a prospect. So at least for Jose Armando, he at least gets something out of this. Thomas Lamana, again, nobody's really going to expect him to win all that much. It's not really a reputable name. That being said, it seems like between these two fights, it's really more necessary for Jermall Charlo to look strong in this matchup. Caleb Plant, it's already kind of expected. He's been looking good, especially since the Trevor McCumbee fight. And again, this seems like this was going to be the original plan that they would have had for Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, but this looks to be like the actual sequel to what that plan originally was, and hopefully this fight between both of these men gets set up, especially in the fall.
Yeah, man, I think it'd be a great fight for both of them. I think both of them, again, would get a good name on the record. I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully both of them cruising by these victories. Looking good. Again, Jermall, he needs to get more active just because he hasn't been all that active in quite some time now. But hopefully he gets together. Hopefully he goes out there and looks good. Because, again, I would love to see a fight between these two dudes because it'd be great for each one of them. It'd be great for the record. And, again, man, they've been beefing it. So it's not just a matter of, let me fight a good, reputable boxer. They actually have legitimate beef with each other. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Either way, I'm looking forward to these two dudes getting in there, getting that work. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And
until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.